Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Chucklers podcast, a podcast about the random topics that we find interesting. My name is Paul, as always, and today here with me is Omar. Say hi, Omar.
Hey, guys. It is me again, as always.
Nice. And before we begin, I'd like to introduce our sponsors.
Wow. All right, yeah. Thank you to those sponsors today. Appreciate it, guys.
Nice.
Let's move in. Let's move in right away, Paul. Let's go ahead and just start talking. All right.
Mm-hmm.
No,
That's what
no
podcast
need.
is.
No need to get the people riled up and just waiting for us to start flowing with our conversation. Look, yeah. I've been hiding this. I've been hiding this idea from Paul for a while, but I learned something really, really cool, potentially really cool, over the week. Okay, Paul.
Okay.
Have you ever heard?
My body is ready.
Have you ever heard of mushrooms?
Yeah. Like.
Have you ever eaten mushrooms? Yeah, like
I've
the
eaten,
culinary
portobello
mushrooms.
Portobello
mushrooms.
that kind of mushrooms.
When you think of mushrooms, what do you think of?
Honestly, like if someone says like, "Hey, you ever tried mushrooms?" I actually honestly think of shrooms, like the drug shrooms.
You think of shrooms. I understand. Most people would.
Yeah.
Most people would. So I don't blame you there. But I'm not talking about that because I don't really care about shrooms.
Right.
As you may know, I like health. I like finding things that are going to help me be more focused, be more active, be overall in shape to succeed whenever I'm under pressure or whenever I need to do something and I need to get things done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, a similar podcast that's significantly more famous and more professional. You may know it as the Joe Rogan podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to watch that often whenever I'm doing my projects because most of my projects are just me cutting things and I don't have to think much. Well, he had a super interesting guy.
Wait,
what's up?
Elaborate on that, just so then people don't think you're like, depressed.
Yeah, so I tend to cut. No, not even close.
Gotta clarify that.
I'm an architecture student, so I do a lot of projects where I have to cut, foam board. I have to cut paper. Like it's just building models.
All right. Anyway,
building concepts.
Podcast.
Yeah. All right. But back to it, and I'll speed this up here. I feel like I'm going a little slow, but essentially, he was talking to this ecologist. I think he falls under the category of ecologist. Paul Stamets. Paul Stamets. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
He's a fungi expert, right? This guy.
I guess he's a fun guy.
This guy was blowing not only Joe Rogan's mind but my own mind about the benefits of various mushrooms and how insanely smart fungi are. Right? So
Okay.
I just went into the podcast just really interested, just like, wow, I have seen bits and pieces of it, and then I actually watched the whole thing, and he talked about a specific type of mushroom, but he said most mushrooms are really beneficial towards our overall health and well-being, but a specific one that I want to focus on is lion's mane. Are you familiar with lion's mane mushroom?
Heard of it, don't really know what it looks like, what it does.
Highly recommend that you look it up while we're talking about it. Lion's mane mushroom is one of the coolest looking mushrooms. It also has an insane amount of benefits when it comes to brain boosting and cancer fighting. Super interesting. Nice. I mean, once again, I'm not an expert in this. Definitely look at the research done by Paul Stamets.
Yeah.
That guy. I mean, he's published so many different journals that have been verified through the process of peer to peer and whatnot. I mean, this guy. If you want to talk about some serious facts, this guy has it. But I pulled up a couple here.
Wait, what was the mushroom again? Lion's mane.
Lion's mane, like literally the mane of a lion. Lion's mane. So as you're looking it up, I'm going to tell you about certain benefits that I find interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So during this podcast, he was talking about Paul was telling Joe about how there was a study done in Japan where they had a specific type of fungi put into a maze that had nutrients on certain ends of that maze. And the maze, I guess, was movable, I believe. The maze was actually the infrastructure of some part of Japan. I don't know if it was Tokyo, if it was Singapore. I can't remember what city it was. I think it was Hong Kong. I don't know. One of those cities. And the fungi at first, like they were trying to demonstrate fungal intelligence. Mm-hmm. So what they did, this can blow your mind, but I hope it blows your mind. What happened was, at first when they put the fungi in the maze, or in the infrastructure, the fungi was looking around, trying to figure out exactly where it was, familiarize itself with its territory, and then within I want to say it was within 28 hours is what they said, it restructured the entire maze, the entire infrastructure of whatever city into a significantly more efficient way for transportation to work within that city. So it took the original infrastructure of, let's say it's Tokyo. I can't remember what it was. Let's say it's Tokyo. It took the infrastructure of Tokyo, the subways, the roads and everything. I'm generalizing. I'm not sure specifically what it was. Mm-hmm. And the fungus took those paths and reorganized it to be significantly more efficient within 28 hours. Within 28 hours.
Oh shit!
So this was just a way that they were demonstrating how smart fungal intelligence was. I'm not sure how they analyze how it's more efficient, but the scientists did suggest that the new infrastructure that was built by the fungi was significantly more efficient. So this leads into the health benefits that I'm going to get into about lion's mane. Lion's mane is a type of mushroom, a type of fungi. Studies have shown that when you take, when you take supplements of lion's mane, it has a really strong effect on your nervous system, and it actually starts to produce NGF, nerve growth factor. It increases your body's production of nerve growth factor, so you start to create more neural networks within your body. A lot of times when people take this, they get like a side effect of itchy skin in their hands and feet, and that's just one of the physical responses to how you feel when nerves start to grow. But in essence, you can think of it like that maze where the lion's mane, and this is just me just kind of using that study to sort of explain potentially what could be happening when you take lion's mane, but it does take your nerves and it increases it through NGF, producing more neural pathways. But it also takes the mycelium that's on your nerves and increases the amount of mycelium that you have, so you have faster jolts of information going through your nerves, and that increases brain function overall. It increases your ability to focus. It also increases things like you're more. They were talking about how tribes, Indian tribes would take these, Native American tribes would take these, and a person who was scared of, let's say, like a saber-toothed tiger or whatever kind of animal, like a buffalo or something, that your response to fear was restructured, and you could actually deal with fear a lot better than you had prior to taking lion's mane. So it takes a person who is potentially a coward to a person who is a hero, a leader. Once again,
this is from lion's mane.
This is from this is from that's I think that's specifically from psilocybin, but all mushrooms have, or not all mushrooms I should say, but a lot of the mushrooms have similar effects. Lion's mane is one of them, where you start to restructure your nervous system and the way that your body responds to certain things. I just found that super interesting because it's also been shown to help people with dementia, help people with Parkinson's disease. I believe Paul's own mother had stage 4 breast cancer, and I'm not saying that he just gave her mushrooms. She was definitely still doing natural medicine or Western medicine, still doing the chemotherapy and everything. I'm not saying that if you are sick that you should just randomly start taking mushrooms and stop your medicine.
Just take
That's
shrooms,
not what I'm
man.
saying. But studies show that, and this is all, I'm getting all my info from Paul Stamets, from that podcast specifically, what he said. that mushrooms pair really well with, top of the line medical treatments today, and can enhance the efficiency of them. I mean, the mushrooms in general are insane. This guy is, like I said, a mushroom expert. He wears a hat that's made out of mushroom.
Wait, made out of mushrooms?
His hat is made out of a mushroom, a really old mushroom.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It's super cool because it's really hard. You smack it and it's really hard. It's pretty cool.
Still a mushroom. It
keeps heat. It keeps heat really well, but it's dead. It's not alive. It's not a mushroom head. If you look at it, it's layers of mushroom skin, I believe, and
a peeled mushroom.
The ladies that make it have this like.
There's a business around this.
This technique, yeah, it's a technique that's been passed down generation to generation. Not a lot of people are doing this.
Yeah, who's buying these things? Where there must be enough of a market where they think, oh, the mushroom hat business is a viable means of producing enough money for myself.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to share that with you because it was definitely something cool, and I kind of want to take it because a lot of people, it's not okay. First of all, it's not like a drug. It's basically you can eat this stuff and you can have it with your rice and your beans. Like it's a normal food. The supplement just takes the specific chemicals that produces those effects, and obviously you take it like a supplement and it helps. It's a lot more potent. But supposedly people see a lot of change in the way that they think. Their mental focus goes up, their fears go down, their sense of fear goes down within a couple weeks. Now the thing is that the effects don't last that long once you get off of it. Depending on how long you take it, like let's say you take it for 2 years, you obviously see a difference from when you hadn't taken it to when you stop taking it after 2 years. You have the connection. Your NGF has created nerves that stay there. They don't die off just like that, and your mycelium should stay relatively the same from the effects of lion's mane. But your focus and everything does drop once you get off of it. After 4 weeks is what one of the studies said. You start to see a change and a drop in mental clarity, but not like it gets worse because you took it. It just stabilizes more or less.
So is this going to become the new superfood?
No. There's actually a whole group of, I don't know if it's foods or if it's just substances. They're called nootropics, N-O-O tropics.
Nootropics. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with how the word came about, but it's a bunch of these different foods, I believe, that affect your brain and in a positive, in a natural way. These are natural substances that you can use to give yourself an edge.
Nootropics, also known as smart drugs and cognitive enhancers, are drugs, supplements, and other substances that improve cognitive function, particularly executive functions, memory, creativity, or motivation in healthy individuals.
Yeah, exactly. And there's also synthetic nootropics, which are called racetams or racetams. Literally it's spelled race, T-A-M-S, racetams. Those are synthetic, and those also do stuff like that, but the effects are a little there's a little bit to the side effects.
So I looked up nootropic. Reading it kind of reminds me of that one movie, I think Limitless. That's what it was called. It was it's basically this guy gets some pills that increase his ability, cognitive ability to maximum levels basically, and he just goes, he basically becomes super successful because of it. It's some sort of caveat.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's not like lion's mane is new. It's been a super popular thing in Chinese medicine for forever. Even I think Plato or Aristotle would use lion's mane to help treat people with like mental issues. So it's nothing new. It grows all around the world.
So like
it's native to North America, Europe, and Asia.
So maybe I'm just like not, super aware of the fungi in like American culinary arts.
Oh, dude, if you wanna learn about how important fungi is to like our life, like humanity and Earth,
oh damn,
watch that podcast. No, you start to really question whether you're living your life or you're living a life of a fungus, because we're apparently we're closer to, our DNA is closer to fungi than I think it's like we're like 60% fungi DNA, which I guess doesn't say too much because we're like 98% of a lot of things, but we're really close to fungi. And
yeah,
some people,
I mean, like all basic living things kind of have a very similar structure.
Yeah.
Just out of necessity.
Yeah.
So I can believe that.
So Paul Stamets has this idea of, we can use fungi to really change certain parts of the world, or certain ways that we run the world. So it's pretty cool. We'll see where it goes. He's on. He works for National Defense for the U.S. He's on one of their committees. Yeah, he's on one of their committees, and he's all about mushrooms, so it's pretty crazy.
In the National Defense Committee or whatever it's called.
Watch the podcast. Highly recommend. Just look up on YouTube Joe Rogan, Paul Stamets. Paul spelled Paul. Stamets is Stamets. Super interesting. If you want to just listen to something while you're doing some like busy work for an hour, like it's a mind blower.
I'll listen to it right now.
Let's listen to it right now. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and start playing.
Yeah, we're just gonna switch this podcast over to the Joe Rogan podcast. And
totally won't get copyright claims or anything.
Hey, it's it's new art.
So yeah, that's just what I wanted to share with everybody. If anybody knows anything more about this, it'd be awesome. I'm interested in taking it. I don't know if I'm going to yet, but I think it'd be cool to see what happens. How I feel. Like a lot of people there's really no side effects besides the itchiness. It's just you just feel a little bit more focused.
I don't know how I feel about choosing to take a drug without the approval of my doctor. Like that. Like a drug that has that
100%. 100%. I would. That's why I'm just waiting until I decide to actually talk to my doctor about it and be like, so have you heard of these? Like,
I want to take shrooms.
Do people do these? It's not shrooms. Actually,
that's like, the joke.
Even Paul Stamets says that like he hates the word shrooms because, it makes it seem like all mushrooms are good for is just getting high. The guy, I don't know. Just
I think most people know that mushrooms can also be used to consume.
Bro,
for
the point is,
value.
I watched that podcast, and I think mushrooms are cool. And I've always liked mushrooms. I like how they taste. I eat them often. He talks about also how a lot of people have like this irrational fear of mushrooms. It's philophobia.
Well, I mean, because like mushrooms are associated with mold, right? Like fungi, and mold most of the time comes up from bad food. And if you eat bad food, you get sick. Definitely. So it's kind of like, like it just makes it seems like a dirty thing,
Yeah,
or a sickly
it definitely
thing.
can. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, definitely watch the podcast, and anybody who wants to comment about this, it'd be awesome to get to see everybody's opinion on this stuff. So yeah, that's fungi. That's fungi hour with Omar.
Tune in next week for more fungi related facts.
Paul, I heard I ran a race recently.
Yeah, so last weekend I ran an orienteering race, or like an adventure race, whatever you want to call it. So for those of you who don't know, an orienteering race is basically you're in the woods and you need to find waypoints, markers, whatever you want to call it, but you can only use a map and compass, right? So like old-fashioned find your way around like the woods. So for this one, basically different points had different point values. So like there were 10 points of each point value. So like you could either get 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, or 5 points for like getting any specific like point. All the points were kind of scattered around the map. The map was about 3 miles tall, north-south, and about like a mile east-west, right? So like a decently sized map. Not for like an adventure race, but like, you know, walking around it was pretty big.
Yeah.
So since the points were scattered around, you couldn't really take all the points in order, right? You couldn't go from like 10, 11 to 12 to 13, you know, you couldn't do something like that. So
the strategy game.
Yeah, there is some sort of strategy. And it's interesting that you brought up fungi, like choosing like most efficient paths, because there's sort of like a mathematical theorem related to that. I'm gonna butcher his name. Dijkstra? Okay. Dijkstra. That.
Let's just call him DigiK.
Yeah, DigiK. Alright, DigiK's algorithm for shortest paths. Basically, it's a mathematical way to determine the most efficient path to take between any number of points. And so, like, I don't know, like, I started reading up on it. It's basically like how a lot of, like, you know, like Google Maps, MapQuest, Apple Maps, I don't know. It's basically how it works, because you would think, you know, to get from point A to point B, all you have to do is find like the shortest path. That's not always the best path, right? Because for certain, you know, like there's stuff like speed limits, right? So like, yeah, your path is like a mile long, and an alternate path is 2 miles long, but the mile long path you have to go like 10 miles per hour the whole way, while the 2 mile path it's like a highway. Yeah. So like, I think the algorithm like takes like stuff like that into account. So it, you know, it was just like really interesting, because the human mind kind of already does that. If you look at the algorithm and like all the steps for it, it's kind of complicated once you get to really big things, you know, like multiple points across multiple obstacles and whatnot.
Like a road trip from New York to LA.
Yeah, like imagine, like if you did
actually
that
that probably
hand,
wouldn't be that hard. Gotta be honest, that probably wouldn't be that hard, because there's only a certain amount of highways you could take.
Yeah, but there's a mathematical, or like there's a objectively shortest path that you could take, right?
Yeah.
So that's like the baseline most efficient path. But if you looked up like a road atlas, like, you know, a couple of years ago, how they had to do it, you know, like your mind would actually automatically choose decently efficient paths. You know, like your mind is kind of automatically going through DJK's algorithm.
Dude, and if you were on that lion's mane while you were trying to figure out that path, bro,
oh man, you are basically just a supercomputer at that point.
There you go.
So that was one interesting thing. Like the human mind basically can determine it can automatically determine a decent path to go from point A to point B.
To summarize that point, whenever Paul does something fun and active, like, he always tries to relate it to math.
It gets me through life. I have to logic through it like that, or else it becomes too fun and my system overloads.
Get out of here!
Too much fun. No, it's just interesting to break things down like that.
Well, how'd your race go? Did you win?
Like even like very organic, or very fluid things can be, you know, at the end of the day, it's basically just very simple or very fundamental processes taking place across like thousands of iterations and whatnot. I mean, people are just very complicated chemical reactions.
Wow, bro. Did you just say that all my hard work is just because a bunch of chemical reactions went off and decided to make me efficient and cool and weird?
The brain is just some atoms trying to figure itself out.
Wow, bro.
Wow,
bro. Then what is life?
What is
life worth?
What is life worth? About tree fitty.
About tree fitty. Get out of here. How'd your race go? I mean, did you win?
No, we actually got sixth
You suck.
place, which was pretty good.
You got sixth place?
Yeah, considering it was like our first time, and I was not dressed for it at all. The thing with me and the outdoors...
Damn it, you did. You wore a suit again, didn't you?
Yep, it's my third suit this year.
Paul,
it's very...
every time.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Active places don't require suits, but hey, if you want to look fancy, it's up to you.
All right, so here's the rules of the outdoors, right? I'm gonna get this in the wrong order. But basically, the first rule, don't fuck up, right? Second rule, if you're gonna fuck up, look damn good while you're doing it. Then third rule is safety.
That it?
But
the
no
two
one
rules?
follows that.
Third rule, safety. Dude,
Yeah,
safety's cool, man.
Yeah, safety.
You don't even get me. The amount of chicks that I can pick up by just talking about how safe I am. Wait, nope, nope. Forget that. That's my bad. That's not what I meant.
So safe.
That's not what I meant.
I imagine like you do it in the context of like you're at the DMV and you're just like, yo girl, got 100% on my driving test. What are you doing this weekend?
Oh, snap. What are you doing this weekend?
Man.
Hey, I always wear safety glasses whenever I cut wood. What's up?
Oh man. During the previous adventure race last weekend. Wait, what?
I always look both ways before I cross the street twice.
I look both ways while crossing one-way street because you never know.
One-way street. I always look out of the way, dude. Honestly, though, I just saw it today. One of the busiest streets in Chicago. This girl was going in reverse down the middle of it. So it's never a bad idea to check both sides on a one-way.
What road was that?
Adams.
That's like a decently busy road.
Yeah.
It's actually funny that you say that because me and a couple of friends went to Indianapolis, right? Oh. And we accidentally did that. We went the wrong way on a one-way road. And I apologize to all the people that...
That's a rookie
if you're from Indianapolis, I apologize, but Indianapolis is so dead in the mornings and afternoons.
Don't even get me started. I think I wrote about Indianapolis in one of my blog posts about Chicago and how awesome Chicago is.
Yeah, well, like Indianapolis was so dead around the time that we were there that we went the wrong way down, a one-way. We realized that, and we're like, oh, all right, well, we'll just turn around, and we just turned around, and then like everything was fine. Like we barely impeded traffic. That's how dead it was.
You go to Indianapolis a lot more than I think you do.
I go there like a decent amount because it's, like
it's Indiana, Chicago.
Basically, yeah. If like Indianapolis is like the city to go to in Indiana, unless you can go to Chicago. But like, so there's a saying that I sort of made up, but I want to spread it around. I don't know. So I say like the best place in Indiana is Kentucky. So like while I'm going to Kentucky, or while I'm on my way to Kentucky, I might as well stop in Indianapolis. It's a decent city at night. In the morning, afternoon, nothing to do.
Yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's funny. The saying that everybody says, but I came up with, so nobody says it.
I want to clarify. I'm spreading it around. There's been a decent like acceptance of it. I've heard other people say it without my provocation.
Yeah, I have my own sayings. I always love saying, "What else are you gonna do?" Whenever I love saying that as a motivator. Whenever I feel like I don't want to do something, like let's say I'm really lazy and I don't want to go for my run today. I'd be like, well, what else am I gonna do? And that makes me think, like, if I miss out on my run, I'm literally just gonna sit here on my phone for a little while, and I could have used that time to go for my run. Yeah,
I guess it's like you're not doing anything. That is like the, except for like actively impeding your own progress. Like that is the least productive thing you can do. So you might if you're not going to do anything, you might as well occupy your time doing something.
Exactly. So if you have nothing better to do, then you might as well go on that run. And most of the time, I have nothing better to do but go on that run.
I mean,
I'm pretty happy about it.
I kind of I think there is merit, or I think there is like a positive to just literally not doing anything, you know, because that's vacation. Like allowing your mind to just not do anything. I mean, like it's proportional to like what you were previously doing. Like I wouldn't take a days off because I finished doing homework, right? But if I just completed like a like week project, I'll give myself a weekend to not do anything.
Yeah, you know, like if I just finished a video game, 12 hours, was pumped. I don't have to go on a jog or go to the gym. Just chill out. You know?
Everything in moderation, except for
earned
moderation.
It. No, video games are nothing. Well, I don't like video games.
Really?
I don't.
Well, is it? I
think video games are. Well, look. Whoever wants to play video games can play video games. At the end of the day, I don't care. But the way I see them is, video games are an outlet for people who can't. Well, okay, I shouldn't say people. For someone to not want to put effort towards their life and build something, because it's a lot harder to build something in life than it is in a video game. In a video game, it's super easy. Like why would I rather, quote unquote, suffer to be able to run 2 miles in under 12 minutes when I could just start my own farm factory in Farmville on Facebook in like a day?
That is such an outdated reference. Farmville on Facebook. Wow, dude. Welcome back from the early 2000s.
Yeah, bro. Zynga, man. Remember
Zynga.
Good old Zynga.
Yeah. So I feel like you just insulted a lot of gamers. I mean, like, I don't play video games a lot.
Look. At the end of the day, you do what you want to do. I'm not trying to insult anybody. If you want to feel insulted, you have the opportunity to feel insulted. But I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm saying this is the way I think of video games. That's why I don't play them.
Video games just aren't for you.
They're not for me because this is how I feel. So, let's say the reason why I don't drink banana smoothies is because they make me feel like I want to puke. That doesn't mean banana smoothies are bad and people shouldn't have them. That just means that I don't like the way that the outcome for me is whenever I have a banana smoothie.
I mean, you could also OD on bananas.
Yeah, bro. You just gotta, the math on that.
Yep. So, oh man, this must have been like years ago. Omar.
At least 2.
Yeah. Wait. Were you like you ate just like you just ate a lot of bananas?
Like, I would just eat a banana a day or 2 bananas a day.
Okay. So that was the context. So Omar would eat a banana a day, and I think he was trying to get a couple of us to try like just do that too, and somehow we wondered like how. Like what
How
at
many
what
bananas
rate?
would it take for you to
Yeah,
OD?
what is the maximum rate of bananas they have to? Rate of banana consumption before you'd OD, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we determined you'd have like it was pretty much OD on potassium, right? So in order to OD on bananas, specifically potassium overdose, you'd have to eat something like ridiculous, like 300 bananas. Right?
In like a second.
Yeah, basically like
seconds.
Instantaneous banana consumption.
Yeah.
So
and the thing is, your body would have to absorb the potassium that fast.
Like right away. So
no, I think what was happening. I did a month of I would have an 8 banana smoothie every morning with dates.
Yeah.
This was during the summer.
So
and I would go on my morning run and then I would mountain bike. So that smoothie definitely worked to give me enough energy to get through the day.
Yeah, so like your body was using that up.
It was using it up like crazy. Yeah, don't do that if you're not gonna use
if you're
energy.
super sedentary, do not eat anything like excessively because your body's not gonna use it.
Yeah, that's a lot of sugar and it's just not gonna feel that good.
Yeah. Man.
But yeah, that's why we were talking about potassium overdose. You know, just casual, guys, how long does it take for us to overdose on potassium?
So it's actually there's sort of a statistic related to that. I think it's called LD50. It's basically the LD50 rating for a substance is the amount that you need of a substance. So let's say you have 100 people, right? the LD50 rating is the amount of that substance where if you gave that amount to 100 people, 50 of them would die. Right?
Really?
So yeah, so like for example, like the LD50 rating of let's say like the botulism toxin or whatever that is.
Botulism?
Yeah, botulism. The LD50 of botulism is something
botulism?
insane. Like,
yo, guys, I got some botulism.
Botulism. It's something insane like micro cc's, right? Like an insanely small amount. So like with one vial of however you pronounce it, you could kill like hundreds and hundreds of people, right?
Botulism.
But conversely, like the LD50 of milk is like ridiculously high. Like you'd have to like consume a shit ton of milk to actually die from it.
That's funny. I was about to look up like the most poisonous substance and how much you need of it, and I'm googling it, and the second search find is most poisonous mushroom.
We went full circle. Wow.
Most poisonous substance and quantity. Let's see.
Yeah.
Ooh, botulism.
Yeah.
Botulinum toxins.
Which is the stuff in Botox.
Oh, oh my god, dude. The LD50 value reported for these 7 proteins are about 5 NGs per kilogram. Nanogram per kilogram?
Nanograms, right?
Nanograms, yeah.
So that's 10 to
Which
the
it's a billionth of a gram.
Yeah. So
That's
it's insane. The when you get Botox, right? When people get Botox, it is an insanely like small amount that they're getting. Because I think it is the same thing.
Yeah.
But that also goes
Arsenic?
to show, like if someone has a vial of that stuff,
You're dead.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Like it's you are totally screwed.
Arsenic, a well-known poisonous substance for most of us. If you have arsenic, you've never heard of it?
No, you said it's a well-known substance that's poisonous for most of us.
Oh, my bad.
I was like,
I meant
what?
to say it's a well-known substance to most of us that's poisonous. That's
Okay.
what I meant to say.
Yeah.
I hope that made sense. But, okay.
It
has an LD50 of around 13 milligrams per kilogram.
Oh, wait, per kilogram? I'm guessing per kilogram of, like, a person?
Yeah, yes.
Alright, that makes sense. Because, like, a baby would be more susceptible to, like, a vial than, like, a...
Mercury. Not the planet.
Oh, I was gonna say, the LD50 of the planet Mercury. If you're there, you're gonna die, like, without any protection. It's just write it off.
The LD50 value is 1 milligram per kilogram. Oh,
Wait.
sorry, it's between 1 milligram per kilogram and 100 milligrams per kilogram. So I guess it kind of varies. Pure mercury is considerably less toxic. What? Pure mercury is considerably less toxic?
Oh, I was about to say, like, there's tons of videos on YouTube of people just playing with liquid mercury, and like, you know, sticking their hand in it. And whatnot.
Yeah, it's saying that in the case of a dental worker, I'm getting this off theconversation.com, by the way.
Theconversation.com.
In the case of a dental worker who attempted suicide by injecting the liquid element into her veins, 10 months later she was effectively symptom-free, despite having mercury distributed throughout her lungs. Wow, You learn something new every podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Tree Chucklers podcast, where you learn something new every day. My name's Omar. I'm here with Paul.
So, just redo the intro.
Yeah, just redo it. All right, guys. We're starting the podcast with mercury.
So
I just injected myself with mercury, and I feel great.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
So we gotta record this podcast real quick, because I don't have a lot of time.
Heading straight to the doctor. No.
I feel like in a future podcast we should do something like just like a little game that we play during the podcast.
No, we're not gonna play Inject Yourself with Mercury.
No, it's obviously nothing like that. But I'm trying to think of something. If
anybody's ever watched How I Met Your Mother, How I Met Your Mother reference right there.
Can't think of anything
Super Bowl
right now.
Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday. Let me tell you, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea it was this Sunday.
Me neither. I don't follow sports.
But, as you know, I follow sports.
Mm-hmm.
Although, apparently not this year.
What do you mean?
Super Bowl this Sunday. Like,
Oh.
every year I have known and I
Wait.
watch the Super Bowl.
You don't watch the football games?
I didn't this season, really.
Oh.
I really didn't.
I think.
It was like a religious thing for me for the longest time to always have football playing on Sunday while I was working on a project, but I really didn't this year. For good reasons. I mean, I'm getting tired of the whole political bullshit, but
Yeah.
It's just like, and a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you just shouldn't let it, bother you." But I'm like, I don't want to see it. Like, that's it. All right, just shut up. That's how I deal with it. But look, the Patriots versus the Eagles. Maybe a lot of people aren't interested in hearing this, but look, I think, and this could be a point of interest. Pretty much everybody, I'm assuming, is rooting for the Patriots to lose. I want the Patriots to win.
Really? Why?
I want the Patriots to win because I think it's awesome whenever I see greatness that is sustained. I think it's really cool. I think people hate greatness.
I was actually going to argue against the Patriots winning. So, see, I usually root for the underdog, right? Like, I love, like, those stories, right?
So, like U.S. versus Russia, you were rooting for Russia?
Underdogs. No. So that's the case, right? That I make an exception for. I always root for the underdogs, unless, one, it's like I'm specifically rooting for the team, right? Like, or it's just the team that is, like, clearly, like, they have more wins or they're superior. Like, I will root for them if, like, I really want to see just, like, success, like, grow even further. If I think that a team has not reached their full potential, right, I will root for them. It's like
So you would want the Eagles to win, or
No,
did I just convince you that the Patriots should win?
So I'm actually conflicted, like, a lot for this game. I don't follow it, but, like, I don't follow football a lot.
I don't follow it, but I have so many opinions.
But I have an opinion on this. So
yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I want the Eagles to win because, underdogs. Patriots are a very good team, but my dad is a Patriots fan, so but he was a Patriots fan before, like, all the bandwagoning.
He was a Patriots fan before the Patriots are good. He was a Patriots fan when they lost to the Bears in '85.
Yeah, he would have been alive. He could have been a Patriots fan at that time.
He could have been.
Could have been. It was 50-50. I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of split. I mean, I'm not gonna watch the Super Bowl, like, anyway. It's like, I don't.
You're not gonna watch them score goals and hit home runs.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, maybe I'll turn on the TV for, like, a checkmate or two, but really it's a hole-in-one for them. The house of cards is gonna fall either way.
Yeah, I mean, I think don't get me wrong. For anybody who knows football, the Eagles are definitely really good. I'm curious to see how Nick Foles, their backup quarterback, does under pressure. Now, granted, his first year. My bad.
Dang, dude, clean up that audio.
When Nick Foles was a rookie, even though I had no idea who he was, I rooted for him, and he was really good that year. Like, just randomly really good.
Maybe it's good luck.
I just got totally lucky. I picked him out of my team. I picked him to be on my team for the fantasy football that year, and I killed because he had a game where he threw. I don't think he threw. No, he threw so many touchdowns with so little interceptions that year. It was insane. I think he threw like 12 touchdowns before he had one interception as a rookie. That's insane. He also had, like, one game where he threw, like, at least 5 touchdowns in a game. It was insane. That year was insane for him, but he's back, and he's been looking good in the playoffs.
It was
so I'm like,
luck.
damn.
Yeah.
Like, the Patriots definitely. This is going to be a game, but this is essentially the two headlines that I'm kind of seeing in my head. It's The Patriots, and it involves the Patriots as the headliners. The Patriots, once again, were able to maintain their dominance and their greatness. Or you see the headline of Patriots lost their piece to the puzzle and couldn't find, or just in general just lost their ability. Like this was the game where
win.
This was the game where they finally cracked. No, not that they didn't want to win.
No, I hate when sports commentators say like, "Oh, they lost because they didn't want to win." So, no, they probably were like, there's probably some fuck ups somewhere like along.
Smack you in the face, bro.
Yeah. So while we're talking about sports,
golf.
Yeah, golf. Wow, ping pong, tennis.
My name's Mike, and I sell golf. We buy golf clubs.
Oh my! I know what you're referencing. Man, that's
we buy golf
I think that's
clubs.
an old reference.
Hi,
I want to visit
Mike,
that store
down at Mike's Golf Shop.
Yeah. So oh man, you could probably Google just
Google that on YouTube, or just YouTube that.
Yeah.
Go on YouTube and just be like Golf's Mike Shop. Definitely a minute of greatness for you.
It's
for
fantastic.
those of you who don't know.
But anyway, so earlier today, actually right before this podcast, I was talking with someone about wait, what? No.
You were getting jiggy with it.
Anyway, so talking with someone about kind of just where a lot of human kind of like, I guess, habits or customs kind of come from, right? And so while we're on the topic of sports, it got me thinking about like kind of superstitions, like kind of superstitions associated with sports that either like a lot of people do or just like you do, like it's done like personal. So do you have any, like before you watch a game, or before you actually like do a sport, do you have any rituals that you go through?
Yeah, definitely. So whenever I watch a game, what I usually do is I go to my room and I open my box where I have a Tom Brady's figurine, and I get on my knees and I pray to him by bowing at least 22 times. Mm-hmm. 22 times because it's 12. His number is 12 plus 10 because 10 is just a solid number.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do that until I get dizzy. And then I go downstairs and I immediately prepare a burrito with the following items. Potatoes that are sliced specifically at centimeter cubes.
Mm-hmm.
Centimeter space cubes. I throw in black beans. I count them. I only throw in 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then pineapple.
Okay. So...
And all of that was a lie.
Oh, I was going to say, like, your rituals are, like, really weird. I do pinto beans, not black beans. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't have a ritual to watch a game. I used to kind of. When I was a kid and I would watch Bears games with my dad, we would always play. We had like a mini pool table. It was probably like 6 feet by 3 feet wide.
All the balls.
And we would play a game. And if I won, we got to order Pizza Hut, and if I lost, we didn't get to order Pizza Hut.
Is that why you're really good at billiards? You're just trying to get that pizza?
Potentially, but no. I mean, it wasn't a regulation billiards table.
Yeah,
so.
But it was like, because it was smaller, it required more finesse.
I guess. I don't know. I played billiards a lot when I was a kid. I have a bowling alley not far away from me where I can just play billiards. So I did that a lot as a kid.
So
for $1.
That's $1.
For about $3.50.
About $3.50. So I have a couple of sports rituals, but
also really quick.
Yeah.
When I was on the basketball team, one of the rituals that we did have was we would always get a Taco 12 pack before the game, and I would always eat 12 tacos.
Taco 12 pack. Oh, that's disgusting.
Taco 12 pack.
How can you perform with that much food in your stomach?
It was okay. It was either a Taco 12 pack or I would have. I don't know why I did this, but I would have one of those Frappuccino bottles, those Starbucks Frappuccino bottles that you buy at like grocery stores.
Oh yeah.
I would have them before a game. For some reason, it would work.
Well,
I'd feel good. It definitely didn't impact my play. I never felt groggy from it. Although one time I had a Taco 12 pack within 30 minutes of a game. That was a bad idea.
Yeah. It's all about like the timing of it.
Yeah.
Like I could eat a really big lunch, right? If the track meets were away, because then like, you know, I'd eat lunch and then be like 5-6 hours before my first event. So it's like, yeah, that's fine. But anyway, back to the superstitions and traditions. Well, I get, yeah. So during track, so I did hurdles, right? And so with hurdles, it's all about like kind of like very repetitive and synchronized movements. You know, like you got to get everything kind of like perfect down to the centimeter, like where your feet go and whatnot. And so I'd always try to psych myself up for it, because like it requires like a little bit of concentration, you know, like trying to get into that flow. So my rituals was I'd slap to the side of my thighs, right? I'd clap my hands, and then I'd like kind of like tap my temples. Wait, what?
Do the hokey pokey?
Yeah, and do the hokey pokey. No, so it'd be like thighs, clap, and then, you know, like finger guns, like with my hands. And so like in my mind, I was like, alright, so like make sure your legs are all good, right? So hands, make sure your hands are, you know, kind of like synced up with the legs. Don't like kind of twist your body in a weird way. And then like with the head thing, like make sure it's just level, like don't wave it around. So I was thinking about that while I was having that conversation about just like human rituals. I must have looked so weird. Like, just, you know, like I'm walking up to my starting blocks, all of a sudden like boom, 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 boom. It's like, what did that kid just do? Is he about to
literally.
like? Is he about to like become the fourth Hokage or something like that? Is he gonna banish me to the Shadow Realm? That's some weird stuff that's going on.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that if I did that myself, or if I saw somebody doing it, here's what I would think. All right, he slaps his thighs. All right, my legs work. They're still here. All right, cool. All right, then you slap your shoulders?
No, I just clap.
Your elbow. Clap. You clap. Like, all right. Great job. You still have your legs. Let's go. There's a positivity moving. Great job. You didn't lose your legs this week. Mm-hmm. And then you slap your head in the face. You're like, all right.
No, I don't slap.
Don't lose where your head is. Remember where your head is compared to your body, and look forward. You don't want to look backwards. That doesn't work.
Yeah. If you break down human interactions down to that level, everything is weird. Like imagine describing a high five to someone, right? It's like, so like what's a high five? It's like, all right, you and a friend, right? Let's say that something really awesome happened. You're gonna take your hand, right? And then open hand, right? Like don't clench it. Then you're gonna hit the other person's hand with your hand. It should make a noise. Then you're gonna like
should make a clap.
Yeah. It's a collaborative clap. That's it. That's a high five. Right?
You're right. That does sound kind of weird.
Yeah. I like to believe that that's actually the origin of high fives. We looked up the origin of high fives. Apparently, this baseball player in like the 1920s hit his 30th home run. And so he was like he put his hands up in the air to celebrate. Then a teammate, he saw that and he didn't know what to do like in that situation. So he just hit like that teammate's hand. He's like, why do you have your hands up? I'll hit it. There you go. First high five. Caught on camera. So
really?
Yeah, it's not that old.
We haven't been high-fiving? We haven't been high-fiving since like we were monkeys?
I thought that high-fiving was just a natural progression from, you know, shaking hands. Because I think shaking hands comes from like when like hand-to-hand combat was a lot more common, right? So like you like walk up to someone and to show that you weren't armed, you'd put your hand out. And to show that they weren't armed, they'd put their hand out. And then you just like, to confirm the unarmedness, like you just like shake their hand, right?
That sounds like total crap. Are you kidding?
I mean, like
hold on. If a person comes up to me and shakes my hand, like in that terms where they show their hand to show that they don't have any weapons, what about that other hand?
That's true. That's what I thought. But I guess it was just like, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, so take both of your hands, right? And it's like, hey, you know, nothing. And then when they confirm that they don't have, like now, like you just both of you have your hands up, and then like, well, now what? You know, I think it was just
third person comes in and kills you.
Yes, third person. Oh, player 3 has entered the game. So, how I think that handshakes evolved into high fives, or how I like to believe that handshakes evolved into high fives, So you do that thing, right? Show your hand is not armed, it's not holding a sword or a spear. The other person would do it. Then you shake your hand, like to kind of complete that interaction. But as society grew, life got faster, right? And so the handshake part of the conversation start had to be quicker, because you can't like do the whole ritual. Like it'd take like 30 seconds to do. So it got faster and faster. Eventually, like you just want like this one guy in like ancient like Rome, let's say. He saw his friend walking down the street. He wants to have a real quick conversation with the guy, right? But like he can't go through the whole ritual. It'd be longer than an actual conversation. So what does he do? He gets ready, like he makes eye contact with his buddy, like down the street, gets ready, puts his hand out, right? And you like, points to it. It's like, all right, we're gonna just hit it, right? Boom, fastest handshake ever.
We have two different ways of thinking about how the handshake or the high five originated. I would like to think that the high five originated because somebody had a hand fetish and they couldn't stop smacking people's hands. They always wanted contact. They're like, oh, more hands, more hands.
I like to believe my version. That's a little headcanon for me.
Yeah, yours involves a lot of history and progression, and mine's like, oh, there's this one dude, Frank. Frank. He has this weird hand thing.
He's the hand guy.
Yeah. It's kind of cool because like I kind of feel happy because I don't know. There's this weird thing about getting your hand smacked, and you're like, you know what? Yeah, let's do things. But
it's just like from a biological standpoint, why handshakes? It's like if the point is that you
from a biological standpoint, that's so bad because
you
have no idea where that person's hand was.
Handshakes make sense because you're trying to like you can like human contact. That's just like a good thing to have. But also, like, there's ways to transmit, like, part of your immune system to another person like that.
That's true.
So that's like a little bit of... It's like the same reason for,
like,
a
little positive.
Like, kind of just
exchange
immune system stuff. But, like, a high five is too fast.
Well, that's what they say about attractability. That some people, like, there's a theory... I don't know if it's a theory or if it's, like, an actual factor. But you're more attracted to people who have... immune systems that are way different than yours.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong. If there was a really hot chick that had the same immune system as me, I don't think the immune system factor would really change.
Yeah.
My perceptive, but
I think
for the most part, I think it makes sense.
I think it's just a really subconscious thing,
Oh yeah, I mean,
there's no like you don't
like the idea of
actively
pheromones.
look for people. Yeah, you don't actively look for people with different immune systems. Like, how would you tell? So it has to be subconscious. I have heard that...
Jenny? Jenny from the block?
Yeah.
I heard
I
heard she got the flu last week.
Oof.
Let me tell you, that immune
but it's
system,
a different flu? It's some exotic flu. It's fantastic. I mean, she's sick right now, but like after she's sick, prime.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if she makes it.
Yeah, if she makes it, immune system's going to be fantastic.
I'm going to ask her to a coffee.
Yeah. So I think so yeah, I guess like with like there's immune systems, it's like really subconscious. I think something that's it's also like a biological indicator of like healthiness, but it's a little bit more conscious. Like you can actually pay attention to this. It's smell, right? So like subconsciously, like if someone smells really nice to you, their like chemical balance is like, I guess, really compatible with yours.
Isn't that the idea of pheromones?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was pheromones, but like that sounds about right.
Yeah, pretty sure pheromones is like one of those things. If not, I mean, it's something similar.
Yeah.
But supposedly we don't have pheromones anymore. Or we lost the ability to smell pheromones. I don't know. I haven't brushed up on that topic in a while.
Yeah.
If anybody knows, go ahead and comment down below. What is up with pheromones these days?
Pheromones. What's up with that?
Have we lost the ability? Yeah. Have we lost the ability? Or do we still have it? What are pheromones?
That'd be kind of weird. Like, where would we secrete pheromones? Well, wait, is sweating? Is that part of it?
I gotta be honest. The last time I learned about pheromones, I feel like I heard about it being in our sinuses, and they'd come out I have no. You know what? I have no.
We are
idea.
not qualified to talk about this topic.
I have no.
We are
idea.
not qualified to talk about this topic.
Not
So
even that.
much
It's just,
speculation.
I haven't bothered looking it up in forever. Who's talking about pheromones these days? Everybody's talking about Bitcoin or something. You know.
Yeah. Hey, bring back pheromones.
Bring back pheromones.
Yeah.
BBP.
Yeah.
Bring back. You know what? I noticed something. Snapchat has a Snapchat store now.
Snapchat store?
On the
What's
app,
that?
there's a Snapchat store, and they're
What?
trying to
Okay.
sell their gear. It is like the most simplest gear I've ever seen. Like
Does it
our
just have
Tree
logo on it?
Chucklers gear is on the same level as the Snapchat store's gear.
That's pretty sad. Snapchat is like a multi-million-dollar company, and we got our shirts for like $10 each.
And I make a shirt, yeah. And
Yeah.
I make a shirt in my basement.
Dang. I mean, like, I think right now there's at least like the fashion forums that I'm looking at, it's a really big emphasis on minimalism. You know, like
Yeah.
get those logos out. You know, just go for like the actual shape and color and texture of it. You know.
Yeah, I think as a society we're trying. Well, I don't know as a society, but I think a lot of people are starting to recognize that maybe having a bunch of stuff is not that good,
Mhm.
and minimalizing not only in terms of fashion, but in terms of like a lot of people living a minimalistic life. With
Yeah.
some people just have like 3 shirts, 3 jeans, and that's how they go about their day.
Yeah. Actually, this is a really good. Oh, were you done?
No, yeah, go ahead.
So have you heard of one bagging? Like one bag traveling?
One bag traveling. Nope.
So basically the idea of it is that like most people when they travel abroad for extended periods of time, they bring a carry-on, and an overhead, maybe a checked bag, right? The idea of one bagging is that you just have everything in your carry-on, right? Maybe you're like, you just have an overhead. But basically, so because of the one bagging like philosophy,
Mm-hmm.
it's really a minimalist lifestyle. I tried it once. Every time I do a combination of one bagging when I travel, like into cities and stuff like that, and then when I'm camping or hiking, I do ultralight, like hiking, like ultralight principles, which is basically the same thing but just with camping. Go as light as you can. So it's such an interesting philosophy to get into because it's basically like, what do you actually need to enjoy a vacation? So I used to like when I would go travel like overseas, even across like state lines, I'd bring like everything. Like if I was like, for example, if going on a 3-day trip, I'd bring like 5 pairs of clothes, right? Like I'd basically bring like 2 sets of clothes for like each day sometimes, like a casual and a formal. I'd bring like my entire like morning like routine kit, and I'd also bring entertainment, so like my Game Boy, my my phone, maybe like a book, just like I'd be absolutely encumbered by all the stuff that I brought because it's like I was preparing for like just in case, But with one bagging, it's like, all right, how can we reduce the amount that we actually bring? And so instead of one bagging is focused a lot on world backpacking. So like a lot of people only bring like 2 outfits, right? Or really like 2 shirts, 2 pants, and like a bunch of underwear. But you can like mix and match, so then you get like 5 outfits, Yeah. But anyway, so just like applying that whole philosophy, it makes traveling so much like more enjoyable because instead of trying to keep track of like your 3 forms of luggage while you're on vacation, now you only have 1, right? When you go to the hotel room, you can either keep all your stuff or you can like just dump everything on your bed. It's like, just a small pile and then go about your day.
100%.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, just try, like, look up for all our listeners, look up one bagging, and if you're into camping, or hiking, look up ultralight backpacking, and just look at what you bring when you travel, and try to reduce it as much as you can. Because the less stuff you bring, the as long as you prepare for it,
cooler everything. You are.
No, like the more you're just focused on the actual experience, and you're less worried about the gear that you brought.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think you're like brushing up on this idea of the more things that you have, the less that you own your things, and the more that your things own you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
I
saying?
can see that.
So when you have just an abundance of things, either that you bring on a trip or that you have with you at all times,
yeah,
the more that you're busy maintaining those things than you are maintaining your own life.
Yeah.
Or are those things benefiting your life?
Like, think about phones. Or no, phones are no. Think
smartphones are good.
Actually, I'll do a better example, just because like phones are basically like an essential item right now. Smartwatches. I used to have a smartwatch, right? Before I had a smartwatch, like, I just have a watch and that's it. Didn't really care about it. As soon as I got a Pebble smartwatch, all of a sudden I was really concerned about, like, oh man, like, is my watch charged? Are the notifications coming through?
Am I getting enough steps?
Yeah, so like I was worried so much about the smartwatch. Eventually, like, Pebble got bought by Fitbit, and so like I didn't really use it anymore, except for like alarm, like, wake up alarms and stuff like that. But I kind of realized, like, I did not have that much stress about things on my left wrist until I got a smartwatch, right?
Yep.
It introduced so many problems that I didn't like need to have.
Something that I like to do, well, since we're in school, something that I like to do at the end of every semester and at the beginning of every semester is look at my room, look at my office, and see what I can throw out. If I haven't used something, in the last month, and I know that I am just making excuses to keep it, I will gladly throw it out. I can't exactly give you an idea of what exactly I've done recently, because I've forgotten at this point. But I think it's a good exercise for a lot of people to look at some of the bigger things that you have, or even the like the collection of smaller things that you have, and genuinely ask yourself, am I keeping this because I need it, or am I keeping this because I'm too lazy, or I'm too worried about not having it for the one day in 70 years that I might need it?
Yeah, I'm really bad with that when it comes to papers, right? Or like just generally like notes and assignments, like from school. I mean, like, I still have all of my notes, like physical notes, since freshman year of college. Just because, like, I just have all of them, because I think, like, like, when I take a class in the future, if we go over, or if we use this one technique that we already went through, like, I can just look at my old notes. That has never happened. If I needed to look up something that we already learned, I'll just Google it, and it's most likely going to be in a better form than like what I wrote down. So like I'm trying to, I don't know, I want to throw it all away, because I don't see a point in keeping it if like there's a really good resource, like online or in a smaller form, right?
I mean, you've seen my room, right? Do you remember what my room looks like?
Yeah, it's pretty clean.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much in it.
Yeah, get rid of the clutter.
So to paint a picture, it's my bed, 2 dresser furniture pieces, and then the only thing that's on my wall is stuff that I've made. So I have my ginormous photography picture wallpaper that I have on my it acts as my headboard.
Yeah,
and then I have my one art piece that I made, and my most recent architecture project. You can count. Essentially, you can count what I have in my room. That's it. I'm not a fan of decorations. The only thing that I do keep is, and sometimes, honestly, sometimes I do throw stuff out, but whenever like a family member or a friend gives me a picture or like something of sentimental value, I'll have a little bit of a harder time getting rid of it. But if it's really not that big of a deal, I'll throw it out after a little while.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, it depends on the type of person you are, but I think not like a fully minimalistic life, but definitely implementing some minimalism in your daily like rooms that you visit or your routines that you have.
Yeah.
It can definitely bring your efficiency up.
Yeah.
And your focus up.
I think so it's been 2,177 days till Bobby Shmurda gets out of jail.
Right.
And
right.
If you just kind of look at your routines that you do, like literally like look at the objects that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. If like there are ways that you can kind of optimize it, just like do it. Just take a day to do it, like straight up. I recently did that with my desk, like you mentioned it, and like it's completely different than last semester, just because there were a whole bunch of materials that I didn't need. I looked at all my drawers. It was super cluttered. I just streamlined it, organized everything, and even though it may take 2 hours to really fix everything, you're gonna save like days in the future, just because you don't have to dig through all of your mess.
Yeah.
So.
And the best part is like, you know, if there are certain like papers that have specific information that you might need, well, you have a laptop, throw it on the laptop.
Yeah, like I don't even keep like physical forms of a lot of my assignments. I keep notes, but for assignments I don't really keep. If there's an online version of it, or if I did it on my computer, so there's an additional version of it, I'll just keep that, and I wouldn't even keep the physical assignment. Yeah. So I have everything archived from high school till now on my computer.
For my architecture projects, whenever I know that I'll need to explain what I did that semester to like during an interview, which I actually had an interview on yesterday. I had an interview yesterday. I think it went pretty well. But whenever the semester's done and I'm looking at things that I gotta throw out, I basically throw out any notes that I have, because most of them are just notes that I didn't care to take in the first place. I just took them because the teacher was like, well, you guys should probably take out your notepad right now and write stuff down. I don't like it when they do it. It's like, there's a reason I'm not taking notes. It's not because I don't want to. It's because this is boring. Yeah. But I take all that paper clutter out, and anything that I need to know, I write it down on the back of my project board, my piece of paper, and that it just quick notes, like quick bullet points on what we did. Yeah. And that's enough for me to be able to explain my project. Yeah. It's an example. It's an example of a way to minimalize stuff.
Yeah, just kind of
a great thing to look at is your wardrobe. I definitely look at my wardrobe and I see the things. Wardrobe so much. I look at the things. Yeah, I look at the things that I don't use at all. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm either gonna give this to my dad, give this to a family member, donate it, or throw it out. I don't care.
Yeah, so before I moved houses, my mom wanted me to just go through the closet and literally just pick out all the clothes that I did not wear. I used to have like a full length closet, so I'd say like about 15 feet. No, that's way too long. About like 10 feet long, right? So like one depth, I guess, and 15 feet or 10 feet long. I eliminated about like half of that moving into the new house, just because it'd be clothes from like middle school that I did not wear anymore. It's like some really old Aeropostale and Abercrombie stuff with like the huge logos. Also some clothes that cool just like stuff. Never fit or like were never in style. I just donated so much of that. And then from moving from the new house to like my apartment here, all of the clothes I would ever want to wear fit within 5 feet of like closet space.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
that's
just
the
like
thing is that you really have only a certain amount of clothes that you actually care to wear. And obviously you have your formal wear that you might not wear that often, but whenever you do want to dress up, those are the clothes that you go for. You don't need that many things.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, it's just it's an assessment of where in my mind am I being lazy or being not careful about what I'm doing with certain things.
Mm-hmm. The only time I buy new clothes is if, well, so what I tell myself, just that then I don't have a lot of clothes just like wasting away. If I'm gonna buy clothes, right, I'm also gonna donate some. Just that then like it's like I'm not getting any use of it, someone else should, you know.
Yeah.
So, I'll buy clothes if I notice that I start wearing just like, or the outfits that I wear, like just like it's just on repeat, you know. If I can't make a new outfit out of the clothes that I've worn, or how to phrase this, basically every 6 months, if I haven't created a new outfit for my clothes, I will buy new clothes and donate some just to keep things fresh.
Boom.
So, you know, just it's a weird way of becoming streamlined, but it allows me to not let clothes go to waste by donating it, and also just keeping things fresh, you know.
Yeah, I think besides when we went to H&M earlier in the winter break, I haven't bought clothes since like we started college.
I mean, our body like sizes like are super consistent around this point, so if you like,
we're very good at keeping our body size consistent.
You know, if you like the clothes that you wear, that's fine. You know, you don't really need to change it.
So at the end of the day, what we're instilling in advice is definitely look at the way that you're deciding to live. You know, if there are things that are just getting in your way every day, consider throwing them out.
Yeah.
So consider, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Get it done.
Yeah.
Get it going.
Yep. Do it. Just do it.
Throw that garbage out. Just do it. Mm-hmm. Throw that garbage out and make way for the potential space for something beautiful to happen.
Wow, that's so eloquent. I think that's a good place to end it.
Yep. Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is the True Chucklers podcast number 4. Good old number 4.
Season
don't
1,
forget.
4.
I know you almost forgot, but don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Subscribe.
Please don't be creepy.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I mean, like we always say, it's really awesome whenever we get comments, and we haven't gotten any yet. So.
Yeah, it would be awesome if we got comments.
It would be so awesome if we got comments. Let me tell you, we would write you back so fast. Mm-hmm. It would be huge. So thank you guys for those of you who have actually listened to the end of this podcast. We do appreciate you guys listening. Motivates us to continue doing this. Actually, no. Yes, it does. I'm just messing with it. It does. It's super awesome. It's super awesome to think that somebody's actually listened to this all the way and cares, like, to engage. Like, I'll have like one of my buddies come to me and be like, "Oh, hey, I heard you talking about this." You know, like, "Oh, here are my thoughts." Like, literally, here are my thoughts on it. Like, I was like, you were talking about this, and I kind of thought about this, or I looked this up, and it's pretty cool to see ideas spread.
Yeah. Speaking of ideas spreading, hold up. No, that's not a good.
I'm having a TED talk on the 15th.
So next week, we're gonna have some guests for the first time on the podcast.
For those of you who have actually gone to our Tree Chucklers website, you may have noticed that a new little lady named Paige Romero, Rage Promero, has been writing.
What a wonderful nickname.
And we will definitely be having her on the next podcast. So if you want to get to know Paige, definitely tune into the next podcast. Mm-hmm. All right, guys? Should be fun. She's a quirky little thing.
She's a little bit quirky.
She's a little quirky.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, guys. Well, we're going to end the
hear
podcast.
Some new voices.
Yeah. Paul, once again, when does Bobby Shmurda get out?
2,177 days.
All right, guys. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth.
Wait.
We will see you guys. What, you do like that?
I don't think that's how the saying goes.
All right, well, whatever it is, We'll see you guys in the next podcast. Thank you so much for coming. And once again, this is Tree Chucklers podcast. Head over to our website to see our other content. I threw my videos on there.
Yeah.
Threw my photography on there. Hopefully, we'll get other people throwing their content on there. Definitely check that out.
Wow.
Always comment, always like, always subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next podcast. All right.
See ya.
Take care. Bye-bye.